right, good afternoon, everyone. It's lunchtime. We got Genshin. Special programs. Go, Skirk! Woo! Yeah, Skirk looked actually really cool. It looks like the Risley setup that I have right now, that team, probably would work well for her if I keep her on field. We'll still try the Nuvolette variant to do like, okay, here she's a burst DPS, and then we bring Nuvolette to be on field and stuff like that. And again, Nuvolette will lose some of his DPS because he's not getting Shred from Shalonen or Kazuha in this variant, but it would be interesting to see how it's going to work. So I'm very excited, very excited. Also happy to see that Malvika isn't literally with Skirk. I'm more surprised to see Shenhe, but I at the very least have the opportunity to go for Skirk and possibly her weapon, and then try for Malvika. At the very least with Malvika, if I win 50-50 on her and can't go for her weapon, I at the very least have Wolf's Gravestone on my main, so I could at least do something like that. Hi, honey. How you doing? Excuse me. I should have grabbed a drink before I started. I thought I was fine, and turns out I'm not. So I'll probably go through the stuff on the second account, and then when I break briefly to switch accounts, I'll go grab a drink. But first, we need codes. I put the codes in already for your accounts, hon. I just didn't do them on mine because I was gonna jump on stream anyway. So might as well just do them there. Alright, let's not forget a whole ass word this time. Tired doing a ton of work today? Aw, I'm sorry, hon. I'm actually very tired still. So I think even though it cooled down last night, like turning on the air conditioner helped out a ton, I still don't think I slept very well. I heard you leave and I was like, okay, I can just watch the thing later. That's fine. I'll just go back to sleep. I had to get up and go to the bathroom, saw it was like 5 minutes to the special program. I was like, screw it. I'll just watch the special program now. What's the last one? White Star. Awesome.
Add Astra.
Good, good. And I know we're gonna have to wait until like... Oh, we got a standard pull too. Cool. Oh, you forgot about it? Yeah, we're gonna have to do ley lines first anyway. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Where be memorial ley lines? I see the books. No, seriously, where are the more ones? Down here. Okay, there we go. There we go. That would have been my guess, but... Hey, Brian, how you doing? I did run a speed test before coming on stream itself. So while my starting screen was going, I ran a speed test. Everything seems to be okay right now. So we'll see about that. All right, let's do... I'll probably use my condense first and then go condense the rest.
Time to say hello. Be free. Breaking news! Hold that pose! Let's fly! Bullseye! Open fire!
Gotta say, though, I am looking forward to also the second half of the patch with Malvika, just because she's rerunning with Emily. So like, if I do end up trying to go for her weapon too, and lose to the Lumadoos, I would not be too upset because I wanted Emily's weapon. So in terms of 5-star, that's not going to be too bad. I gotta say, even with Skirk's weapon, getting Calamity Queller wouldn't be terrible.
Go! You're free now! Farewell! Say cheese! Ha! Open fire!
I do need to double check what the rumor mill is saying that Skirk's weapon uses for Ascension. From the special program, it looks like I do have the correct drops for Skirk. So her leveling stuff is all set outside of potentially crystals. But unlike my alt, unlike this account, I have the stardust to buy the dust to convert the crystals. Oh, what's attacking me? Oh, it's the little guys again. Are you coming here? Yeah, you are.
Say cheese! Take me up! Bullseye!
Oh, where'd you come from?
Open fire!
Alright, come here. Come here.
Open fire! Locked on!
The sad thing is, it was saying those were attacking me, but they were just standing there. But I'll take the fangs. I'm gonna need them. They have a skin for the new ZZZ character already? Sheesh! Even Star Rail only gave one skin and it was to March. And it's only for her preservation form, too.
How about this? Go! You're free now! Not too far now. Shoot! Bomb! Let's fly! Open fire! Let's have some fun, shall we?
Trina, did your goons go away? They did. Or did I not summon the goons? I might not have summoned the goons.
Open fire!
That's alright. Chaska took care of everything. As always. Alright, I think that was the last one, so let me go... What are you doing? Do it again. Come on. Do the thing, or is it because I'm watching you? Okay, I'm not watching you now. Why are these things frozen in the... Oh my gosh. Why are these things frozen midair? Look at this. It's like frozen in time. What the heck? That's weird. I never realized they weren't moving. That is really bizarre. Looks sick too, not gonna lie. Are you gonna pick it up? Oh, nope, that's the actual party that I was using for Verisa. Two more. There you go. I should have known it was weird when Kazuha was standing there. Okay, we're back up to 4 mil.
Add Astra at...
Let me check my my book situation. Also, let me hand in this, actually click this so I can get the stuff for the commissions.
Add Astra
There you
Thank
go.
you for
You might want to
Yay.
get a guide if you're not familiar
Oh.
with the area.
I'm blipping. I'm blipping. Alright, back to Jessica. And we will check the book situation. 133. I'm debating here because we have like 3 weeks roughly before. Well, we have more than that for this account because I'm not pulling for Skirk on this account. I'm going to be pulling for Malvika. So we have time to get books. So I think I'll just continue on with Mora since I'm leveling talents. And there was nothing for today that I needed, I don't think, right? Oh, no, I'm dumb. I need Justice. Let me just check. For Riri. Just because you're the one I'm actually using them on. Oh, wait. Hold up. She probably... Okay. She will definitely need more to get to the crown, but she is fine to go to level 9. We just need the whale drops instead. So that means, yeah, I can do ley lines. Elegance, Kindling, I believe Shalonin and Auroron are at 9. Yep. Funny enough, I think Shalonin might actually be crowned. No, she's not. Okay, she's not double crowned on this one. But we have enough Kindling to crown her. The resistance is Benny? Oh. When did I do that? Here you go, Bennett. That needs to be crowned. But this is already level. No, you. Oh, this is only level 8. I mean, it doesn't need to go up higher, but as long as it's burst crown, that's all that I care about. Well, back to Mora because I just dropped 700k.
Then your mind.
Farina.
Strike a pose.
Time to say hello.
Hold that pose. Break it do.
Wyatt. Wyatt.
Open fire. Open fire. Ah.
There's the thingamabobber. Oh, really? Really?
Smile. Ha. Bullseye.
Why? No. Over here.
Shower me with praise.
Tell me what you see. Farewell.
Hard hitting exclusive. Hold that pose. Bullseye. How about this? Bullseye. Open fire. Locked on. Bullseye. Open fire.
Lagging again. Okay, that's the oh, this was the pond that got drained. I thought those were supposed to be lit though.
Time to say hello.
Shoot! Bomb! Smile! Let's run! Well, shoot! Locked on! Locked on! Bullseye!
Oh, I'm near the border. Paimon's gonna yell at me.
Locked on!
She's gonna yell at me and tell me I don't know fucking anything. Water tastes so good. Is it actually like really humid out right now? I still have everything shut up in here. Shut up. Shut it in here. So no windows are open at the moment. I might open them when it starts raining just to see if the air feels cool enough. It probably won't. It probably will be muggy as shit. But kinda, yeah.
Go! You're free now.
Say cheese! Breaking news! Ha! Locked on!
Don't mind if I do.
Bullseye! Open fire!
I'm good.
Don't even think about it, fellas. This spot always gives me a heart attack when I have Farina. And for those who don't know, there's a local legend right over there. She's being peaceful and singing to the animals. Why would you attack her? But I'm so scared that the freaking goon squad's gonna be like, something to interact with.
Alright, let's finish this fast. Strike a pose!
Alright.
Tell me what you see. He's free.
Shoot! Bomb! Smile! Let's run! Locked on! Ah!
Beautiful. Alright, we still got like a while before I can do my artifact route, unfortunately. But I do appreciate y'all just listening to what I had to say about my experience from the day I hung out with my brother. Um, it still bothers me a lot how he was treated at the welfare office. And I never thought I would say I've met a real life Patty and Selma from The Simpsons, you know? Actually, what's my exploration in these pieces in that land? 97, 97, 95, 100% in the springs was first, huh? 98, 98, 97, 84 in the newer one, but that makes sense. And then I haven't been over here. Let's go unlock that actually. You know, I actually forgot there was like a lot of these flowers over here. And you know what? I probably, for this account, should check what I have for Malvika. Okay, isn't there supposed to be like, or is that on the other island? Am I stupid? Wasn't there supposed to be the Sharky over here? I mean, I can run across with Farina. That's not an issue. No? Okay. I thought it was on this island. I guess it's on the other one. That's fine. That's fine. Like I said, I can
Shower me with praise.
do this.
May I present?
You may.
How brilliant!
So my hope for wishing on this account right now is to get at least one 5-star on the Chronicle Wish. Because again, I need 5-star weapons. So pretty much anything I can get off of it is good, except for one of two things. And one of them being the donut. Like, I can throw that on Baiju, that's not an issue, but that doesn't help the account very much. Whereas, like, a sword would. Even Red Horn would, because I could just throw that on Eula. And we could try to make Eula good. And I will promise that if I pull Red Horn, we will work on Eula and see if we can actually make her good. We'll put more of an effort into that. Highly unfortunate that part of that probably would have been Escoffier. Because when I did use her and Escoffier in the little event, the combat event we had, that actually felt good. That was fun. Hey, look at that. I'm over here now.
Take me up.
Might as well get some primos, right? Also, that boss. Whoop. I fell off the cliff. That boss. Stupid easy. I think I fought it on stream on my main. Stupid easy. In the Imaginarium Theater, for some reason, fucking sucks unless you have Risley. Probably Ayaka too, I'm not gonna lie, but I didn't have the trial Ayaka still. I just had Risley. It was so easily taken down with him, but you're just having reactions go off with no primary DPS and you do no damage. It was really weird. And this is why I never try to do the shortcut to change the gadgets. Oh. Okay. Well, we'll do this first. Wow, I have more of the Fatui than the treasure hoarders? That's actually really surprising.
Time to say hello.
Say cheese.
All right, quite a bit of talent material. Which That probably means my main is up too for that. Okay, nothing over here. That's what I remembered. Should be nothing there. I got the one chest that was there, but I'll pop over and check. Yep. Oh, wasn't there another stupid teleporter that I didn't get? Yeah. That's underground in the spot? Like... No, no, grab those. We want these. Oops. -1 artifact. How did I not get this? What is she doing? Is she like... Is it me or does it look like she's sweeping? Like she's just sweeping the little area. Either that or she's playing Fantasia. Either way, I think it has something to do with a broom. Okay. Is that all the teleporters now in Netland? I think so. Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything else. Oh, you're gonna be tricky now, aren't you? We don't want to go over there. That's the Fatui. Can you tell I despise the local legends? Especially when they keep showing up in the abyss, and I'm like, I leave you alone on the overworld. Why can't you be nice to me? I can't remember where the spot is. I know there's only one chest I know of that I'm missing. Oh, shit. I actually think I know a couple places. And they're more of puzzles than anything else. Are you two people like if they are? They're sparring. I don't think I've ever noticed that. Mash! What the heck? Stupid birds. Alright, you know what? Before I get myself killed, let me go heal at a step. I don't want to do the event right now, game. I am just going to wait for like 3 days until it's all unlocked, because apparently it takes 5 minutes for one match, and you don't even get the max points if you actually do well. So that's gonna be annoying. Do I? I don't think I do, right? I'm 5 off for Inazuma. My... I don't even know if I'm maxed on this account. Oh, right. I'm still missing this. Oh, yeah. Oh, all right. All right. I see you. We're gonna have to do more resin. I don't want to make the same mistake twice. Um, okay, there is a puzzle over here. I'm gonna take a wild guess. Aw.
Take me out.
Watch this. Stick around.
Hello, Frames. How you doing? Only 2 of them had carrots? That's weird. All right, we're in the tree? I was like, it's saying I'm on top of it, right? What are you trying to show me, game? Oh, is this the... I think I remember this. We're just gonna kill everything.
Locked on. Open fire.
Forget it.
No, I think I did this then. Something to do with the drills, right? I mean, I will gladly take the... I honestly don't remember. Keep wanting to dash while I'm under here. It says it's right here. Where the hell do you think you're going? Well, I will come back for that. Alright, let's just make this easier on myself and go back to this. Oh. Wait, what? You're gonna make it so I can't climb.
Let's burn
Bitch.
this breeze.
Yeah, screw you.
Let's finish this
Go!
fast.
You're free now! Farewell!
Breaking news! Hold that pose! Ha!
Next time!
Boom.
Open fire!
I will! Stand down!
Bullseye!
Oh,
Bullseye!
I will! Stand down!
okay. I admit it. I didn't see him standing there. One. Egg. Egg.
Alright, let's finish this.
Tell me what you see! Not too far now!
Alright, what is making you stutter all of a sudden, game?
Take me up! Out of the way or get open fire!
Don't mind if I do!
Lockdown! Open fire! Open fire!
Yes, you are!
Alright, you leave the Yukasaurs alone. They come over here, we'll deal. So anyone else hyped for the interlude quest there for Dainsleif and the twins? I am pretty much hyped just because Dainsleif actually gets to fight alongside you, so we're very close to maybe seeing him playable. I mean, it was teased long ago, or confirmed long ago, that he was going to be playable at some point. So, all right, where is it? Am I just that would have been a very long run. Silly mini map. O7's in chat for the capybaras because the Goon Squad probably is gonna kill him. You are? Yeah, I'm very much hyped for that. I always love seeing the Dainsleif quests.
Free!
Breaking news! Ha! Lockdown! Bullseye! Lockdown!
No! Oh, shoot. I didn't realize it was gonna spawn two! Technically
Tell me what
four.
you see. Not too far now!
Yoo-hoo! Shoot bomb!
And no capybaras were harmed in the farming of this ley line. Yay! Last time I had one over here, oh my god, they gunned for the capybaras. Alright, that should be enough time. If these aren't up, I'm just gonna flip accounts. Gotta do laundry today. Are you serious? Yeah, I might have to. I'm gonna have to skip today for this account. This should have been around the time that they were that I did them, because I went over here immediately after talking to you guys about things going on. Alright. Well, back to Fontaine. That is okay. I do want to get my drink and stuff. But first, we Yamba. Yeah, I knew that was going to be nothing. I don't even think we're close to a 4-star, right? Yeah. Yeah, we would have needed an early. Okay, we're not even 15 from that abomination. All right. I see how it is. Are we close to a 4-star? Or do we just get one? Technically, we just got one, but we have like 2 or 3 wishes, so maybe one. 10, 15, 30, 40, 45. Okay, 50. We're at 51. 52. They were both nothing. Yep, didn't even get glitter. Yeah, I think I'll do the event this weekend on this account just because we are pulling on the Chronicle. Just to get some extras. Because, yeah, I do want to see if we can get at least one 5-star weapon. And I'm not joking. If I see Thundering Pulse, I will just end stream. Alright. Let me take a BRB. I'm going to switch accounts. I'm going to get a drink, and then I'll be back. Yeah, there's definitely rain incoming. My head just started to pound. Um, Heat's also getting to me a little bit. I turned back on the air conditioner to get some more cool air rotating. Apparently, even with the fans running in here, it's reading like 80 degrees in the bedroom. So, taking it easy. All right. Yes. All right, we will just do this immediately since we are right here. Set up the crystal fly trap. Take that. It doesn't matter which stone. I think it's stupid that it doesn't matter which stone you use. It's always the same amount of crystal flies. It's the treasure hoarders for this account.
Strike a pose.
$80K. I think that's the most I've actually gotten out of this. But nothing much else.
Exactly. But none of them believed me. There'll be an extra fee for that.
Add astra.
Okay, more than likely these are not up on this account yet. Hello. Nouvelette. Yeah, it's not up yet. Yep, my Nuvi is my favorite character. He's not only my favorite character, he is my main. His stats are this. He is on 4 PS Maru Tusei Hunter, so he actually has a 72 crit rate. He is also C4. And we're gonna go play with him in this domain because we are farming for Skirk. I could never. He is the one I've invested in the most.
Bring it. Hear the echoes of the valley.
Settle down.
Attack with good substats. You couldn't even give me an HP with good substats to maybe upgrade Nouvelette's Sands. Thanks, game.
Strike a pose.
Bow your head.
Oh, my frames are dipping again. Whoop. I will be doing a speed test in a second. Alright, download speed is roughly where it was when I checked it at the beginning of stream. And upload has gone down a little bit. Alright. So that's causing this problem. Oh.
Letting brave names echo.
Settle down.
come on. Give me something good today. I haven't done artifacts in a couple days because I was doing talents for other characters. All right. That's an okay ER Sans. You got me, but it's not what I want, game. Wrong set, too, by the way.
Wind of Strider.
There is a weird delay for flipping to Shalonen and tapping the skill to go into it because she's just like standing there. It's weird. That's a crappy flower.
Bring it.
Next one, I'm going to heal for Kazu primarily. Nope. Huh, correct me if I'm wrong. If you read the developer's notes, weren't we supposed to get some kind of like artifact loadout? Because I don't think they talked about that on the live stream, and they usually do. Usually what's discussed in the developer's notes, they will bring it up and kind of go a little bit more into a spoken detail about it. And I don't remember them doing that. That could be my headache just like not wanting to focus and remember, but I don't remember them doing that. Defense, cool. I do like that they finally basically added the dice from Star Rail where you can re-roll the substats after it's like level 20. And you can although I think unlike Star Rail, because Star Rail is just like, yeah, re-roll it and see what happens. With this new item in Genshin, you're going to be able to tell it the substat you want it to focus into. Now, will it do the same thing that it's been doing with the elixirs? Probably. God damn. Come on. 2 more chances. 2 more chances.
Hear the echoes of the valley. Wind Strider.
Settle down.
That's right, I'm healing. I got the bonk on Farina, that's fine. I keep forgetting that when I hear the little jingles, that's Shalonen and tells me, hey, heal your other characters. That's why you did it. Nuvolette doesn't need it. And I get attack. Look at this. I finally get a fucking attack sands, and those are my substats. My god, game. Help if I move my mic to take a sip of my drink.
Strike a pop. Bring it.
Bow your head.
Oh. I'm sorry, no. I don't have the time to do that right now. And what are you actually looking for advice on, per se? Like, there. I mean, I could just look at it and be like, yeah, get new artifacts or ascend them and stuff like that. But what exactly advice are you looking for? And all those artifacts were junk, except for that one ER Sands, which I'm not even going to roll right now because it was on the wrong set. Are you up now, artifacts? If you are, I'm going to flip to early, but no, you're not. I don't remember what time I did things because I did stuff late yesterday. But all right. We spent the resin. We flipped over here. Grab that. Oh, before I forget, I gotta do the codes too. I almost completely spaced that.
For completing
That would have been bad. My Skirk fund would have been sad. Alright. I'm going to put in the codes. And then I will do the strong box to see if we can get a headpiece for Sing Cho. And then I'll check the artifact routes one more time. If they're not up, I don't know what to do. Boom. Yay, Skirk Fund. And right now, Skirk Fund is sitting at what? Let's actually do it this way, just so I can see the actual fates I have, too. I have 9? Okay. Alright, so we got 64 plus 7. Okay, so 71. If I have to go into the glitter, which I probably will. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Let's change the party. Change the party. I completely went past Arlie. There we go. Hui! Alright, Noblesse. Am I one off? Oh no, I have exactly 9 that are garbage. Alright, so what we want is either a Hydro Goblet that's decent or a crit rate circlet on set for Noblesse. Alright. We didn't get... Oh. Well, I'm going to hold on to that because that actually does not look that bad. Not really. Absolutely not. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And I don't think I have any others that I'm locked that I haven't rolled yet that are... Yeah, double crit, double crit. Look at that, double crit defense here. Woo! Double crit HP, double crit EM. Crit rate with crit damage. Another double crit defense. I'm gonna have to take a look to see what EM circlets I have. I might just get rid of that one. You know what? I think I will just get rid of that one. Double crit with defense. You honestly think I should roll for Chiori, honestly. Alright. Oops. Select the other 2 things. There you go. And it's a flower. That's a dud. Alright. Alright, you win. Let me check my Bennett, because that was HP, and he rocks an HP goblet, so... Oh, your HP goblet is pretty damn good, actually. With the ER on it. This would have to roll ER. Or not ER, crit rate. Which it doesn't. But for an HP piece, I probably would still hold on to that and roll it, because I could use it on Baiju if it rolls into ER. Because, this... Or was it offset? I might have had an offset one for him. Huh, odd. That's odd. Isn't it Collie that has it? Collie! Oh, nope. You now have just a Sans on, an ER Sans. Who are you holding stuff for? I could have sworn I was making a set for Baiju and oh, wait a minute. No. I think I know where it went. No, you have Sunk Days Past. Which is not the set I would want for you, Chef, but I don't know where the Baiju one went. Is it on Kave? It was on Kave. Okay. Okay. Okay, so you can take that then. And you have the ER Sands. That unfortunately does not have HP in it. That does with EM. Okay. And that means the feather would be that. But for Baiju, I probably would want his headpiece. All right, I'm going to take a quick BRB. I'm not going to bother putting up my screen just yet. just realized it was probably the second account that had stuff on Kale for a different character. But yeah, this was my stuff for Baiju. I was going to make a Noblesse set for him and a Songs of Days Past set for him, and his Songs of Days Past went to Chev. Because I was going to try to do Arlecchino Overload, and then I started playing Melt with Arlecchino, and I was like, screw that, this is fun. Because I had Sit Lolly, so. Alright. So, giving it some thought with this person that had come in, I think, honestly, I think they've asked this before for me to look at their characters because they suck. I believe they've also asked who I main before. Same setup as before. And the answer is always Nouvellette. But thinking about it, I'm going to present this to y'all, okay? I'm not in a position to literally do account reviews, like, at all, okay? There are plenty out there that could be more strategic. Maybe it's the fact that they have a paywall behind it. Obviously, that's not a bad way to make a little money if you know what you're talking about. But I'm going to show you some stuff that I did because I realized that July 1st is actually the 1 year mark since I did the sprucing up of my account. Now, no, I'm not saying fix because there was nothing wrong with it. It just needed a little spit and polish, effectively. Because, for an example, Nouvellette before was running Prototype Amber, and some of his artifact, like, he's still rocking some of the artifacts he had. But, like, he had the same crit rate ratio, but his crit damage was only like 180 or something like that. It was not very high comparison to what I can get to him now with the tome and everything. And I went, hey, is the Wit Sith going to be enough crit damage to supplement the loss of HP from the Prototype Amber? So that was worth looking into. And this was back when the Spiral Abyss started getting harder. And I wrote this down because I was curious about it at one point. Let me see if I can find the note. I'll bring it up on screen otherwise if I can't find the note. So on my main account, this account here, first the Abyss Clear 36 star was in April of last year. And then 2 months after, the account started to struggle. So in June, the Abyss got harder and it struggled to 36 star. I don't even think it did. I think I managed like anywhere between 33 and 35. So the following Abyss, by I mean the account, was able to 36 star because of the adjustments I made, more primarily to Nouvellette, because he was the carry. His side could probably be the one to do it faster. This is the one with like the 2 pyro electors and stuff like that. So the biggest thing is to analyze your characters. Kind of understand what they scale off of, what they need, like what artifact sets they can use. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't use Maruchise Hunter on Nouvellette. He fluxes his HP so much. It's literally catered to him. So, that's first and foremost. In terms of, just giving it the old spit and polish. It literally is you inspecting what needs to be cleaned up. I can't tell you that, because it's not my account. But this... I thought I picked up both of you. Come back here! Mine now. Alright, are you up now? Yes. Okay. So this is going to be the other big piece of advice I'm going to give right now, without bringing up anything. This. Do an artifact route. I've seen so many like challenge runs or whatever, and they're like, oh no, I ran out of XP artifact fodder. What do? I had no more resin. Do an artifact route. certain places on the map, like where I'm going right now, these spawn daily. And they are 1 to 2 star artifacts, you know, so it's not going to be a hell of a lot of XP. What? She landed and I couldn't move. But it's enough the artifact XP is enough to at least roll an artifact to 4 to see if it gets good stats. And if it doesn't, well, it becomes fodder itself, or it becomes fodder for the sanctifying elixir. Now, I will rant about the sanctifying elixirs, because I haven't really had good luck with them on either account. But, you know, I don't really hurt for artifact XP. And then if you're not actively farming artifact, or you are, so your thing is going to fill up faster, you can do one of two things. You can destroy the lower artifacts for Mora if you're actually in need of Mora, or you can turn them into artifact XP vials. Oddly enough, it's less XP than actually using the artifact themselves, which is kind of funny. But if you don't want to lose out on that XP, turn them into the little XP vials. And that way you're not running out of it. But this was something I wish I knew at the very start of the game. Now, granted, Mondstadt itself doesn't have spots like that, like this, where the artifacts respawn. But Leeway does. And Leeway actually is the last stretch of my route. So you do have spots you could go to fairly early and do that if you're a brave soul and want to run through the mass in Sumeru. There's spots in Sumeru. Forest, actually, on his 4-star only account, like, if you watch, like, I want to say it's the very second episode. I don't even think he did it the first one. But he was, like, level 20, didn't even finish the Mondstadt story quest, hauled ass to Fontaine just to actually get the XP route, the artifact route. I thought that... Whoops. I thought that was, Scopier. But yeah, he hauled the ass all the way here, mob dodging and all that shit, using his skills from our old FF11 days, just so he could actually have an artifact route to start with. And then once you unlock Inazuma, it should be the first. I was pretty sure it was the second, but it was very, very, very early that you did it. But yeah, like, him doing that so early set up that account for a while, because it either went into artifacts for when he could start farming artifacts, or he was getting the 4-star stuff like Berserker and whatnot, because that was also something I learned as well from doing the second account, that, you know, if you get the 4-star sets of Exile and Berserker, they're worthwhile, or Instructor, that was the other one. They're worthwhile sets to level up, and they can actually carry you and help you if you have to solo the domains for the better artifacts. Now, we don't talk about my other account taking almost the entire, 5 minutes to clear the Marachose domain. Because I just didn't have a good team to do that. I had supports, but I didn't have any DPS, really. Eula struggled. Oh my god, did Eula struggle? Well, let's be real, I didn't really get any good artifacts on Eula. But yeah, this thing, the artifact route, granted, you might not want to do it, on the daily. There are days I skip it because I have to reset it due to how late I've done it, because I can't remember how late I've done it sometimes. And I need to reset it, because I'm going to be real with y'all, my memory sucks ass. So me trying to memorize multiple routes so I can do an alternate route isn't exactly in the cards for me. And I'm okay with missing a couple days, you know, it gives me a breather. I can go in, condense resin, and pop out if I don't really want to go through the daily grind. But, it is an immensely big help to any account, really, to do something like this. Forest actually has been destroying the artifacts for Mora. because he keeps running into the insufficient Mora problem. And you know what? I respect that, because at this point you can sacrifice the lower artifacts for Mora and use your resin to go farm, say, bosses, or actually get the 5-star artifacts. So you have the Mora to even attempt to level it at some point. So there are very much uses for doing it and a lot of arguments for doing it. So if you aren't doing an artifact route, I highly recommend finding the spots. There's probably a lot of videos that show multiple routes. If you want, you can watch the VOD and I do this literally every day. The route does not change on either account. I deliberately stopped doing another path and just made the routes the same because they were so similar anyway. I kept forgetting which one was which.
Lay to bear. Let's light it up. I'm going in. Get to work. Suffer the wrath of evil.
I don't know why I keep forgetting to do her. Really? Did you miss? That was a weird one. Now, once I finish the artifact route, I'll go into a little bit more of some advice that I can give. Because, like I said, I went through a thing where it's like, yeah, my account's fine, and I brought it down to like, I'm on the struggle bus when it comes to harder content like the Abyss. Because my account could do it. My husband was the one that was clearing it on my account. And that's what I just brought it down to, because this is not the type of game I play of like any kind of genre of this game. You know what I mean? Like Zelda. Because they just weren't my thing. Genshin really has been the one that apparently won't let me capture the crystal fly. It's the one that kind of grasped me. So, gripped me, grasped me, gripped. I know English, believe me. So yeah, I just thought it was more of a skill issue than anything else. And then it's like, oh no, the Abyss is starting to get really difficult. Even if it's just arbitrary difficulty with hit points and just making sure that you have, the right characters, the right elements, and even proper builds. But I have to say, like, what I'm going to say it's like a proper build for Arlecchino, some people can't do. Right? Like, I would say, like, oh, if you don't have her signature weapon, just have the Jade Spear forehead, because that's what I used. But that's not the case, and I did it again. I flipped to Arlie down here when I didn't mean to. Arlie gets switched up here. Ta-da! But I've seen a lot of Arlecchinos, and I mean a lot of Arlies, with the white tassel, which is a 3-star weapon. But it's a crit rate weapon. Crit rate weapon. Crit rate weapon. I don't know where the W came from. But they're also rocking a Gladiator and not Whimsy.
Overruled.
But you want to know the funny thing? I was rocking Gladiator too.
You can't run. You two. Time to end.
Looks like
So yeah, as you can see, I have Arlie's signature now. But yeah, I was rocking the Jade Spear before because it's what I had. And truth be told, because if I remember right, Arlie came out when Shen Yu Veil did. No, Tenuviel came out with Cloud Retainer. So she was a little bit of a ways off. But I can tell you this, I did not have a white tassel. Because I didn't realize that white tassel was a leeway-only treasure boxed item. And they all got fed when I was like, I don't need these. Now, granted, it's a 3-star weapon. I typically don't use them or anything like that. But, yeah. So it was a good thing I had the Jade Spear because I did not have a single white tassel when I got early. I'm pretty sure I didn't. See, perfect float up that time. Didn't get caught, no nothing. Now also with going on the artifact route, you can create a movement team if you are either just really wanting to move super fast, gotta go fast like Sonic, and have characters leveled to do that if you're worried about aggro or something like that, or you could just make the party and go and hope you don't get hit by anything. Why do I fight things? Because I want to. I have a vendetta against the Fatui, which I don't remember if I've ever told that story or not, why I'm mad at the Fatui. So I was exploring Leeway. This was after I had just started building Nuvolette, and he was actually looking pretty solid. He was already doing much better than any other character I had. And truth be told, I think he was the only DPS I had. Because the first 50-50 I lost was to Jean, and then I got Zhongli. Zhongli was my on-fielder for a while. It's why he has that little bit of a hybrid build on my main. And I say that like I have him on the second account. I don't know why. But he has more of a hybrid build on this account because of that reason. And then I lost 50-50 to Dea when going for Nuvolette, then got Nuvolette. Lost 50-50 on Risley to Chi-Chi. And then I got Farina and Baiju. Yeah, Nuvolette was my only DPS. But he was getting built, so the team was fairly okay. I had Zhongli. So this back then it was Zhongli, Fischl, Nuvolette, and I want to say Sucrose was the other one I was using. Because this was, I believe, before I got Farina and Baiju. So I had a solid team, and I was building somebody else, and I want to say it was... No, it wasn't Kaching. Sino? Oh, if it was Sino, then I would have had Farina. I can't remember, but I was using another team that I was dipping around with. And oh my god, like, I ran by this house with the Fatui, and it had a treasure box, so I was like, yes, I want this. And they absolutely clapped my cheeks. Like, blink of an eye, my characters were dead. Went back to the Statue of the Seven, revived, brought out Nuvolette, and he super soaked their ass. But ever since then, I'm like, any Fatui I see, they are going to die. And it's all the more funny when I do it with the Knave. But, you know, the treasure hoarders, like that, those 2 camps and stuff. At the time, I was leveling, like, Bennett and Kaya and a couple other characters that all use the treasure hoarder insignias. So why not? And now the treasure hoarders and the Fatui insignias become fodder for the transmuter thing. But do you have to fight those camps if you're doing the same route? Absolutely not. You can just go. You do not have to fight the things in your way. I just do. And yes, I do have a movement team that I could use. But because I like to fight things, well, I actually, I think everybody in the team is leveled, so I could still technically do it. That's just not going to be an overly functional team. Kaya Plunge? Okay. Or Dea Plunge, because I would have... Oh, it's Rosaria. Nope. So if I do movement speed day, night, it's Rosaria, Dea. Get back here. Mine now. Yeah, and then Kazuha. Kazuha would probably be the other for double Animo. So it's not even Kaya Plunge, it's like Dea Plunge. To make that easier, if you wanted movement and stuff like that, you could get Chiori, who does both if you have a different set of wings on that are not the default ones. Why? Why? Why did you climb the wall? You literally face the wall and you're like, oh, yay!
Transfix. A dash of frost. Fulfill our pact.
Yoink. Meow. I always get caught on that little awning, too. That's okay. Alright. And that should be the last? Yeah. Okay. So, let me take a sip. Lucy, sip. So, when I broke down what I actually needed to spruce up the account, ultimately it was resources. So instead of being like, I need artifacts, I need bosses, I need, by that I mean world bosses, not weekly bosses. Anything and anything else that resin could be used for, I went, nope, I ain't touching that. I am getting XP books and I am getting Mora. So I dedicated all of July last year to farming ley lines. And luckily for me, July 1st had fallen on a Monday. So that literally meant I could go from reset to reset. And, so the first week was XP books. The second week was Mora. The third week was back to XP. And the fourth week was Mora. And then the last few days, I split it. So one day was Mora, one day was XP. And then the final day, I split the two. I can't remember the actual totals. I would have to go back and look at the recorded footage I had to remember what the actual total was. But I think back then I had anywhere between 15 and 18 million Mora. And I want to say I had almost 1,000 Heroes Wit. Because that was also during like the summer event and all that stuff. So I had the event stuff going on. So I had all those books and resources from that. So it did add up, of course. So a big piece of advice is take a look at what you have in terms of XP and Mora. If you think you have enough, so when it comes to Mora, you got to take into consideration how much it takes to level a character, how much it takes to level their talents. Because the biggest thing, if you want to crown a talent, it is going to cost you 700k. So if you want to double crown, say, you know what? Escofia is a good example here because I do have her double crowned. So if you want to double crown, say, like your Escofia, right? You want to do her skill and her burst. That is 1.4 million Mora. So if you're sitting there at like 1.8 going, I'm good, I can do that, you are then stuck with nothing. So you have to keep that in mind. So outside of doing the farming necessary for resources, the next question would be, are my characters at least at the final ascension? Getting the stats from the final ascension. Yes, it's going to take a lot more Mora and books to just outright level them to 90, but there are characters that do really want that especially like HP scalers like Nuvolette, Farina, and just healers that heal off of HP. Heck, even just like you want Chev to actually at least get her final ascension. But she would probably want that too, because I believe she's HP scaling. I always forget which one she is. I want to say she's HP. So if the biggest question for me was, well, who do I have at level 90? At the time, it was Nuvolette, Farina, Baiju. So 3 out of the 4 main party members at the time. Nahida, Arlie, and Zhongli. I want to say Zhongli. And then I did Emily when she came out. Like Emily got like the royal treatment for me when she came out because it was something I could do pretty much immediately, and that's when I did the Arlecchino burn team comp with Bennett and Zhongli as well. So that was my original team for Arlie, and that was absolute chef's kiss because I did what I did. But I had so many characters that were either final ascended but not fully leveled, like Kazuha, or they weren't finally ascended. So that was goal number 1. And then goal number 2 was their talents. I spent so much of my what are they called? Solvents, the dream solvents, on just getting the characters to get 8 talents because I wasn't getting their drops. And I went, screw it. I have so many of these things. I am going to just do that. Now the stupid game won't even give me a solvent when I need it. But character levels and character talents are going to be the 2 biggest things in terms of your damage because it's a guaranteed damage increase instead of relying on RNG from an artifact. So those would be the number 1 and 2 things. Make sure you have Mora and books, and if you feel if you're just going to do a big push to get characters done, or you feel that you really need a leg up on specifically Mora, don't be afraid to farm ley lines. It sucks because you feel like you're not getting any advancement, but the payoff is well worth it because it's a guaranteed way for you to get Mora. And you could do Forrest has actually done a very tried and true strat, and I've done it a couple times on both accounts, where I would take 80 resin of the pool I have and spend that on character materials. So it's like, okay, I need books. That will be, 80's worth of blue ley lines. Mora gets thrown in there, and then talent domains and stuff like that. Sometimes I might actually feel like I would reverse it and do like 80 resins worth of artifacts, and then the bulk of it goes to the talent domain, just because of the way Genshin works and the archaic system it has. Which I really want to hear that announcement one day of going, oh, hey, by the way, we're getting rid of the daily lockouts, and you can farm whatever you want whenever you want. And then it would be like, yippee! So what? That's the first 2, right? Your character levels, get your materials, get your character levels, get your talent levels. Okay? And again, even though some characters might want to go to 90, getting them to at least marking them 81 to let you know that you ascended them, they have their final ascension in their special stat, you're good. Okay? You should be good. Then go for your talents because, again, they are going to be the thing that's going to guarantee you the damage. Now, the thing that I'm currently working on, and let's who we want to go for? We can go to Navia. Navia has it. You can see Navia has 999. She is ready to be crowned, but look at my crowns. I only have 6. 3 of those are going to be for Skirk. Other 3, possibly Malvika, if I can get her. We shall see. So I'm not crowning Navia, but the goal should be to get them to at least level 9, because that's like a massive boost, okay? The crown is just gravy. But you really want them to go to level 9. In order to really start doing anything in terms of, like, say, the Abyss or whatever, getting the talents to at least level 8, which is the max you can have at level 80, is a plus. The only reason I say 8 is a good stopping point, if you're doing like a lot of characters at once, 8 is a good stopping point for you to test stuff and see where you need to go. And the reason I say that is because of the boss material. For level 9 and level 10 talents, you need 2 of the boss drop. And sometimes the boss just doesn't want to give it to you. I actually had to use a solvent to crown Risley's normal attacks because it just wasn't giving me his item. And I'm like, I want to stop farming a pep. He's the only one that needs it. I don't care that a pep is stupid easy with my Nubilette team. It's just infuriating that I have to keep fighting it and not get the item I need. And what's worse is that I only have like 11 solvents or something like that. So, they're in few and short supply. So when like Skirk comes out, I'm like, hey, I might actually want to use those on Skirk just to actually quick as a bunny, get her stuff up. So it kind of sucks that I use one on Risley. I'm not mad though, because Risley actually does pretty good with the team comp I'm going to be using with Skirk. So, but that's the big thing there. A lot of people kind of ignore that. I'm not saying stop at 8. Definitely go to 9. But if you're doing multiple characters at once, 8 is a good stopping point to move to the next character. And then you can see how the team functions when they're all level 8 talents and start working on your main DPS's crowning. The next thing, so that's kind of what happened in July. Was I got all the stuff for the Mora and XP books to level characters, and I did that. Now I was like, okay, talents would be next. So I think August did start this, was a little bit of sprinkling. Emily came out as well, so I did a lot of stuff for Emily, having leftover books from the push. So, in her talent, she got double crowned really quick too, because I was fighting the knave for Arlie at one point, and then I got the last piece for Arlie to triple crown her. So that was Arlie was actually supposed to be 10, 9, 10. And I just like, I'm just gonna freaking triple crown her because I got the piece for her. Why not? And she's my second main DPS. But so talents became that next thing, and then I was like, well, what else gives a guaranteed damage increase and not random? Your weapons. Now, yeah, Navia's kind of a bad example here because one, I didn't mean to get the verdict. I was pulling for Miss Splitter and I lost. The irony of it was that I stopped rolling for Miss Splitter mid sessions, going, I want Sucrose constellations, and got an early Navia. So that happened. So yeah, Navia's not the best example here. But also keep in mind, I'm also a Battle Pass Welkin player. So like showing off, okay, Zhongli is on the wrong polearm. Who has your polearm? Is it Sino? Yeah, it's Sino. So Deathmatch, that is the Battle Pass weapon. So if you are a, Battle Pass Welkin kind of player, and can have access to this, I don't know why I'm throwing the Welkin in there. I think it's just because I have the Welkin. But if you are a Battle Pass player, you pay for the Battle Pass. These weapons are pretty good because they're all crit rate weapons. Why do I keep saying quit weight? Quit weight weapons. Ooh woo. Let's see. Kazuha has a crafted. It doesn't need to be R3. I realized that the increase after I was refining it wasn't a heck of a lot, so I stopped. But look at your crafting weapons. So one of the best craftable weapons, funny enough, where's Newbie? Hi, Newbie. Is funny enough, Nuvolet's best in slot for free to play. Because it gives a big HP boost, which he scales off of. It generates energy, so he can get his burst. And it provides AoE healing for everybody. So when Farina's just sucking the life out of people, not only is Nuvi getting himself back up with his normal shit, he is healing everybody. So it's actually a really good option. So take a look at your crafting weapons and see what you can do. I'm not a huge fan of Thrilling Tales, I gotta say. The timing for me has always been just kind of meh to get the buff, but you know, you could use a character like Sucrose with Thrilling Tales or somebody else with Thrilling Tales. And whatnot. Like, if you're doing the gacha, you'll probably get a Witsith. This is what I flipped Nouvellette to. Let's see. I mean, that's a huge ass difference, right? But we're just gonna flip books for a second. Yeah, it was about that. So, because his crit rate didn't actually change very much. He still had roughly the 70-something crit rate. And this was his crit damage after putting on the Witsith. In testing, in testing, uh, when he hit, because there's 3 procs you can get on the Witsith. There are 2 that are absolutely useless for Nouvellette. So if we look at the Witsith, I can tell you which one it is. Yeah. So he wants the second aria there, or reactive. Recidive? Recidive. um, so he wants that one, which ups all elemental damage. The attack does nothing for him. Elemental mastery pretty much does nothing for him. Especially if you're running, you know, Farina. So who was out at that time? So it would have been Farina, Baiju, and Kazuha for that team. So Elemental Mastery really wouldn't have done much for him. In my testing, the damage he was doing on those 2 was the same as he was doing with the prototype Amber. So it was worth changing him to the Witsith. For me, it was worth changing him to the Witsith just to get that damage increase. On the off chance. So yes, we're still leaving it to RNGeebus. But on an off chance he could hit that 2 and just rip the things apart. I'm going to give you back your tome now. So level your weapons. Don't skimp out and leave them at level 80 or anything like that. No, your weapons can go to 90 and should go to 90. And honestly, like, you can Google a lot of stuff. There is a site, I think it's called Gamer8 or something like that. When I need advice on some builds, just saying like, oh, what's my ER requirement for certain characters? I can look that up and be like, oh, I'm at that threshold. Or I was like, oh, I'm way below that. Whoopsies. Or something like that. You can look up those kind of information and get a vague idea of what you should be farming or looking for in terms of numbers. When it comes to artifact sets, some characters are obvious, with Nouvellette being merged as a hunter. When it comes to their primary stats or their substats, you can look that up. Nouvellette scales off of HP, so you're going to want hit point percentage over flat HP. Don't flats are stupid. But I found the hydro damage to be better than HP. But that could also be subjective. So if I had an HP goblet that was really good for like crit and stuff like that, it might be better or might be about the same. But for me, hydro has been better for Nouvellette. Because he's on Merge as a hunter, he doesn't need a crit rate circlet, so go crit damage. Make sure it has HP on it. Maybe a little bit of ER to help his burst come back for every rotation. But, you know, a little bit of crit rate does help too. Because honestly, I feel like I want higher than 70. But again, I don't want to put a crit rate circlet on him because he'd overcap. Because he doesn't need it because of the buff from, or the passive, whatever, from the Maruchise Hunter. You know, like, out of all his pieces, his flower is the one that I need to upgrade. Because the CV is incredibly low, but it actually has pretty good HP on it, and that's why he's using it. So artifacts, ultimately, when you're building characters, are your last thought to do the damage. You can try to pass and get something usable, With New Millet, I don't even know what else you would put on him. What are other people using on him? Okay. Heart of Depth I can get, because that's the Hydro set. But Wanderer's Troop, really? But, like, you could find anything that has the right stats on it to throw on him and while you farm Murchise Hunter. And that's one of the reasons, like I said, my Arlecchino used to run the Jade Spear, which, funny enough, like outside of the passive on her weapon, it didn't change her build, which I was grateful for. But she ran the Jade Spear, and I used to run Gladiator. Do I still even I ate a lot of Gladiator pieces. Like, no joke, I believe this was Arlie's flower. I think I still have all of Arlie's pieces. Feather, sorry. This is Cyno's, I know that. This is the one I had on Arlie. And then this was Arlie's Feather. And that had to be your Sands. Yep. Attack Sands. She had this from the start. From the get-go, that was her offset goblet. And then Cyno has the piece that she was running. This was always Farina's. I kind of wish I had that on Arlie, but you know, again, like sometimes you just don't get the right rolls and it sucks balls, but you deal with what you got. And everybody pretty much had Gladiator at the start. Everybody at this point probably had a white tassel. Again, for me, it was a little too late, and I went, oh, I ate them all because it was a 3-star weapon, and I didn't realize that it was exclusive to a region's treasure boxes. So check that off on things I wish I knew, and passing on to you guys. If you're a new player, just starting out and stuff like that, you're doing exploration, you see something like the white tassel, no, halberd, both of those are in leeway, recurve, is it the recurve bow? I think that's a Mondstadt bow. It's an HP 3-star bow that's actually really good for Siege Queen. But again, it's something that's locked to the treasure boxes. And when I was trying to do something, I was like, oh, I don't have any of these. Now, not that I have Siegeween, but I was like, oh, I don't have any of these. Oh, it was for Diona. It was for the second account with Diona. Yeah. Yeah. So just make sure you lock them and refine them when you get them. And as long as you have at least one R5, you're good. Now, will that white tassel be as good as even going like deathmatch or something else? No, it's not, because it's a 3-star weapon. It's going to be significantly weaker. But I've seen, and I mean seen, some pretty decent Arlecchinos rocking Gladiator and rocking the white tassel, or even rocking Whimsy, so her signature set, with the white tassel, and has been pretty damn good. So there's things you can do. You just got to be mindful of what you have. So if you ate all of your weapons, right? Like, what would your weapons be looking like for Arlecchino if you didn't have her signature, you didn't have the Jade, you didn't have, you're not Battle Pass, so you don't have the Welkin. What do you use? It's a really good question. So, case in point, my white tassels only are 3, and those are what I found in Tenyu Vale. So, like, what would you use? I don't even know what 4-star you would use at that point on Arlie. And if there is something you can use, I mean, like, Rightful Reward wouldn't be it. She's not HP scaling. She doesn't really need a ER. So I feel like if you're doing a lot of elemental reactions, you probably could get away with Dragon's Bane. Don't quote me on that. Or Kitan. No, don't no, it was not this, right? No, I guess Kitan could be alright. But again, that's only elemental reaction. So what? Fab, because you throw Fab on everybody? Energy recharge. This is energy recharge with 40 protect. So yeah, like that. See, this is where like seeking advice from me is like, well, my Arlecchino sucks. It's like, okay, well, this is what I could say to do, but if you don't have this, I don't know what to tell you because I have her signature. I had the Jade Spear already. So it's not like I was starting from the 3-star and moving my way through stuff, you know? So yeah, it's a really good question. I actually wonder what you could use at that point if you accidentally ate it. It's not like Nouvelat where I can just say, hey, just put on the prototype amber. But your weapons are going to be the next step, is going to be that next thing. Now, when I went about it, because Emily was in the mix as well, thankfully, because I was like, okay, what do I have that I need to level? Like, the Witsith was
Staring
number
into my
one.
eyes is not
Oddly, was number
advised.
one, but was one of the last things I leveled because of the days. But I had more than enough Mora to supplement to trying to level stuff. So at around this time as well, so I had the Wolf's Gravestone, and my brain went 5-star weapon. You need to level that. Don't always think that because if you're not using a character that uses the weapon type, I had Dea leveled. Don't get me wrong. I had Dea leveled and I had Gaming leveled to level 80 at the very least. Dea went to 90. I wasn't actively using either. It made no sense to use resources on the Wolf's Gravestone. So I got about halfway leveling Wolf's Gravestone when I pulled the Skyward Blade because I was trying for the key of Kadrazu. Kadrazu? The key. Nilu's weapon. Because I wanted it for Kuki / Farina. I was also trying for a Ziphos. I got neither. Instead, I lost to the Skyward Blade, and I was pissed for all of 5 seconds before I realized that was probably Bennett's best in slot. So my goal shifted, and I leveled this because I was using Bennett. And I can also throw it on, say, Jean if I need to. I can throw it on Kaya and whatever. Yeah, subsequently, a little bit later, I ended up getting another one. It's staying that way because I could use it on another character if I need to. It's the only reason I have not refined it. It's just in case I need it. So I have significantly more 5-star weapons on this account than I do my second account that is cursed with bows to the end of time. So the other thing you have to ask yourself, if you're struggling with weapons, okay, like for an example with Arlie, if you don't have anything that looks like it's going to be good, should you go for her signature weapon if you want to use her? Yes. But also think about, is a 5-star weapon going to be enough to push over what you need to get stuff done? So like my second account has just 36 starred the abyss for the very first time, and that has to do with the HP increase and all that stuff. So the goal post had shifted on how long it was going to take me to do it the first time. And again, that was at my husband's hands, not mine. I just built the characters. So the account became strong enough because of my efforts putting in it. My skill issue stopped me from clearing the abyss on that account. But I only have 2 5-star weapons and it struggled. And you could tell. It's like, yeah, if you got some 5-star weapons on there, even just stat sticks. So for an example, on this account, I went for Shalonen's weapon and I ended up losing to Chiori's. This is when Shalonen first ran. And I deliberately went for Shalonen's weapon, almost banking that I was going to lose. Because I wanted a stat stick sword. Because I was using Alhaitham and a couple other characters like Kaya and Kaching that could just throw that sword on. Hell, even the Traveler. I was using that on Pyro Traveler. So I was like, yeah, that could easily work. And now it's going to sit on Skirk if I can't get her weapon. You know, like I said, Navia I got completely by accident. Jade Spear I ended up getting because I was trying for Staff of Scarlet Sands when I got Sino. And I lost to that, but I was like, oh, that's kind of his second best from what I read. So I should be happy with that. And I didn't bother going through the hoops of the old weapon banner again, where you had to roll on it 3 times if you missed twice. Lost Prayer was actually my very first 5-star on the standard banner. So I lucked out and got the Lost Prayer very, very early. So, I mean, there might be a point where you're going to hit bad luck like my second account has. Like, if you know, you know. Or, I have an okay spread, for an account that's almost 2 years old. That's not that bad. So definitely take a look at what you have. And if you think you need it, maybe you do need it. You know what I mean? So, like, for an example, with the newer characters, their weapons aren't so much stat sticks. They're very catered to the character themselves. Like, no one can really utilize Arlecchino's weapon. It's sure you can use it as a stat stick for crit rate if you really need to, but no one's really going to utilize the passive. I don't think there's very many characters that have a passive that goes to more than the signature character it's for. So if you just want the big bump in damage, 2 thumbs up, go for it. It might help you out especially if you do not have anything to supplement it with. But I can't tell you what is best and what's not because of what I have. That would be something that you could look up and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see this being really good for Arlie or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like the Fab. I have Fab on Farina because it's what I had at the time. I was trying to get her signature weapon when she first came out because I did not have a Fab sword. I lucked out and got the Fab sword on that banner, I think. And I didn't want to fish, and I still don't want to fish, so I don't have Flusandra. But would it be a great option for Farina? Absolutely. I could bust up her damage by getting Flusandra and putting Fab on Kazuha instead. I could do that. I'm not going to, but I could. Heck, I even went as far as to making a onset goblet for Kazuha to actually finagle his build to give him Fab and put Chiori's weapon onto Farina to up her damage during one of the abysses. It's the one that had the Wolf Lord in it, just to squeak out more damage because again, my skill issues, I was just a few seconds off from finishing the chamber within the time limit that I needed for, the 3 stars. So I had to finagle. And don't be afraid to do that. Would I like everybody to have their own crap? Yes, because I keep forgetting who has what. But it is what it is. So those would be the main things. And then the last thing, which, ultimately, that goes above everything else in terms of the characters and building is understanding the characters that you have or want to play and how they play together. So, like, I wanted Zhongli because he was a husbando, not realizing that he was actually, like, the best shield in the game. And then I wanted Nouvelette because he was pretty and blue, and then he turned out to be a dragon, so I was very, very happy. And then I was like, okay, I want Risley because he's the pretty man. And I lost. Farina actually turned out to be really cool, so I got Farina over Baiju very quickly and then got Baiju. And I was like, yeah, this is great. Baiju was supposed to be a really good healer, and it sounds like he's going to really work well with Farina. And then it's like, oh, Farina's really good for Nouvelette. I didn't realize I was making his premium team, quote unquote, on purpose. Like I didn't realize I was doing it. It was just in my brain that these were working together. And then I was using Zhongli still because, Baiju is made of paper or Baiju's shield is made of paper. And then I got a little bit better at being a little bit out of harm's way for Nouvelette because he was C0. So I replaced Zhongli with Sucrose or Fischl, one of the two, all depending. And it just started working very, very well. And then I was like, okay, well, what are you going to do for Arlie? And it's like, well, it looks like she wants Mono Pyro, similar to Linny. So I was like, okay, Zhongli goes here because she's glass cannon. And then we'll do Bennett and Zhangling. Worked totally fine. And then Emily came out. I took out Zhang Ling so I could still get the bonus from Bennett. And that burning team was fantastic. And it wasn't until I got Sitlolly to start doing the melt stuff, because I was using Kaya before I got Escoffier. And that worked out really, really well. I had a lot of fun with it. I still run the team and whatnot. So it's about also finding your playmates and what's going to work well together. Part of the reason that the other accounts struggled is because I knew supports were going to be needed. So when I started picking up, I wanted Klee. So first and foremost, I was dumb and rolled on the Chronicle Wish for very old characters. But I like Klee as a character a lot and really wanted her. But I ended up with Eula, and Eula worked fine for a little while. And then when I got into the harder stuff, she fell off and fell off hard. So I kind of, what came out after that? Farina? Was it the Farina? No, it was Baiju. It was Baiju and Wanderer. But I was like, I know I want Baiju because he's a solid healer. He is my comfort healer. If you want a comfort character that's like you have in your party for ease of play, Baiju's it for me because he can just heal my way through anything practically. So thumbs up for Baiju. And then I got Farina or Kazu. Kazu was first. So it was Kazuha, Baiju, and then Farina. Note there's no DPSs anywhere in that. And I tried for Emily because I didn't know when Nahida was going to come back. And I was like, yeah, Emily does a lot of Dendro application. I'm pretty sure she could supplement for Nahida. I lost and got Tainari. So I was like, well, at least I got a DPS. We'll level Tainari then. Funny enough, I still needed Nahida. And then I got Shalonen. I got Mualani. Don't get me started on Mualani. That was a mistake. And then I got Shalonen. And then I got, I went for Chaska because I did need another DPS. And she was fun. I was very surprised at how fun Chaska was. And I had good support with Farina. I got Auroron, and he turned out to be fantastic. And I had Charlotte. So I was like, okay, I'll give this a go. Then I got Nahida, so we could start doing Aggravate, Hyperbloom, or whatever with Tainari. And trying to. But, unfortunately, some of it just didn't mess up or match up with the new way things are working in the Abyss. If your goal is to do the Abyss, you really have to just look at your account and figure out what is good, what is bad for the characters you are actively using. So one of the biggest things, and I know Forrest has said to me, he hates the term vertical investment, but it's the best way to actually describe it. Because you have the Spiral Abyss and you have the Imaginarium Theater. The Spiral Abyss seems more like a vertical investment versus the Imaginarium Theater, which is a horizontal investment, meaning that you have more characters leveled. So, anytime that the theater updates, my husband can do visionary mode absolutely no problem in terms of having characters to go in because he's leveled them all. I, on the other hand, usually have to just do hard mode because I've done the vertical investment on the characters I use. This is also the reason why what you see. I know, Arlie. I know. It's part of the reason that characters like Sing Cho, because I was originally running Vape with Sing Cho with Arlie, that he is double crowned. It's true, I control the horizontal. Yes. So, I would normally say just leave them at 9, especially because he's a 4-star. He's a good support, a sub DPS. He doesn't need to be double crowned, but because I was going to actively use him with Arlie, who is my primary second DPS, I was like, I am going to crown him and make those teams the best I can be. Kaya was the same way. Where are you, my boy? Same thing. He was there for the melt version before Escoffier. Unfortunately, Escoffier just does a lot more for the team than Kaya does. So, he got replaced, but that doesn't mean I can't use Kaya elsewhere at some other points. And he's already buffed up for the theater. It's great. So that's the other thing you have to pay attention to. So if you want to do a vertical investment for say the Abyss, so we had the previous chatter come in, I asked me who I main, and I said Nuvi. And I showed the stats for Nuvolette and what I had for him, including him being C4. Now, in their eyes, I probably dropped a heck of a lot of money to do that, and I kind of didn't. Tome of Eternal Flow was gotten with the gems I had saved, with the primos I saved up. And then I had enough upon losing my 50-50 to get C2 and ended up with C3 in that pull. So a lot of it is a lot of luck, but I was also willing to do that. Now, his C4 was a gift from my husband. He gave me the money to top up so I could pull for Nouvellette cons. And funny enough, his C1 was technically a gift between my friend Brian and my brother because they gave me gift cards for my birthday that year. So it's funny that anytime I spent my own money on Nuvi, I lost. But gifts, two thumbs up, my friends. All right. I will probably go into a little bit this more tomorrow. I am actually going to end stream right now. I have to run to the bathroom. So I'm going to say good evening, or good evening, good afternoon, good night. Happy weekend, everybody. I will see you all Monday for more shenanigans.